They said it couldn't be done. They said rockets this big would never fly again. But Elon Musk never believed in impossible. It's dawn at Boca Chica, Texas. The air hums with electricity. Reporters, engineers, dreamers, all staring at a stainless steel giant rising from the earth like something out of science fiction. The countdown echoes across the desert. 3, 2, 1, and then ignition. A blinding inferno erupts beneath the pad, and the ground shakes like thunder. Starship, the largest rocket ever built by humanity, lifts off the Earth, defying gravity, defying doubt, defying every limitation we thought existed. For a moment, silence falls across the control room, every screen, every face frozen in awe. And then cheers erupt, because this isn't just a rocket. This is the dream of an entire species taking flight. You see, SpaceX's Starship isn't about just getting to space. It's about changing what space means. For decades, rockets were single-use, expensive, fragile machines that burned billions just to reach orbit. But Starship, it's different. It's designed to be fully reusable, like an airplane for space. Imagine flying to Mars and coming back in the same ship. That's the vision, to make humanity a multi-planetary species, not someday, not in a century, but in our lifetime. But dreams this big don't come easy. Before this launch, there were explosions, setbacks, and failures, rockets that never made it off the pad, engines that melted, tanks that collapsed. Each failure was a lesson, each explosion a teacher. Elon Musk once said, "If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough." And SpaceX has lived by that rule. Because behind every success you see today, there are thousands of silent engineers who refuse to give up. People sleeping in factories, testing through storms, coding till sunrise. And now, their work is lighting up the sky. As Starship climbs higher, the world holds its breath. This is history unfolding, not just for SpaceX, but for all of us. Because when Starship flies, it carries something more than metal and fuel. It carries the hope that humanity's story doesn't end on one planet. Now, let's talk about this beast, Starship itself. It's not just big, it's colossal. Standing nearly 400 feet tall, Starship and its booster, Super Heavy, form the most powerful rocket ever built. Together, they produce 16 million pounds of thrust, nearly twice as much as the Saturn V that took Apollo astronauts to the moon. Think about that. The Saturn V defined the past. Starship defines the future. But it's not just about brute force, it's about evolution. Every inch of Starship was designed for one purpose, to make space accessible. The outer shell, made of stainless steel, not aluminum, not carbon fiber. Why? Because steel can handle extreme temperatures. During re-entry, when plasma rages around it, Starship doesn't burn, it glows. Inside, there's room for up to 100 people. Sleeping pods, workspaces, life support systems, all designed to one day take humans beyond the moon, to Mars, and maybe even further. And then there are the engines, Raptor engines. These are not just engines, they are works of art. Each one burns a mix of methane and liquid oxygen, fuels that can be produced on Mars itself. That's right, Starship is designed to refuel on another planet. Let that sink in. A rocket that can land on Mars, refuel, and fly home again. For the first time in history, space travel could become two-way. Not exploration and abandonment, but exploration and return. But here's the most revolutionary part: cost. Traditional rockets cost hundreds of millions for a single launch. Starship? Once perfected, it could launch for less than $1 million per flight.
That's like turning space travel from a luxury cruise into a budget airline. Think of what that means. Colonies on Mars, space hotels, lunar mining, and maybe even something we can't yet imagine. Still, every dream comes with a price. The test flights weren't perfect. One ended in a mid-air explosion, another lost control on descent. But each time, SpaceX rebuilt, stronger, smarter, bolder. Because Starship isn't just about getting it right, it's about not giving up when it goes wrong.
Now, picture this. It's the morning of the Starship integrated flight test. Thousands of people are watching online, millions more around the world. And then, it happens. The engines roar to life, 33 Raptors firing in perfect sync. The Earth trembles, the sky ignites. Starship rises. Slow at first, like a mountain coming to life, then faster. Through the clouds, through the sound barrier, leaving a trail of fire and dreams behind. Inside Mission Control, tension fills the air. Each milestone, max Q, booster separation, re-entry, feels like a heartbeat. People whisper, then cheer, then cry. For those who followed SpaceX for years, this is more than a launch. It's a vindication. Every failure before this moment suddenly makes sense. Every critic, every doubt, every explosion, worth it. When Starship reached the edge of space, it wasn't just an engineering victory. It was a human one. Because this launch proved something we've almost forgotten. That humanity still dares to dream. That even in an age of cynicism, there are still people crazy enough to look at Mars and say, "We're coming." And yet, this is only the beginning. Starship's true mission lies beyond our blue sky. Lunar landings, interplanetary cargo, Mars habitats. This is the first step of a much bigger journey. Elon once said, "One day, you'll either be watching it happen or you'll be part of it." And that's what Starship asks of us all. Will we just watch the stars, or will we reach for them? As Starship's engines fade into the vacuum of space, something incredible happens. The camera pans back to Earth. Tiny, fragile, beautiful. That's what all of this is for. Not conquest, not profit, but survival. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that single-planet species don't last forever. Meteor impacts, solar flares, nuclear wars, Earth won't always be safe. If we want humanity to endure, we need to spread out, to build, to explore, to adapt. That's why Starship matters. It's not just about rockets, it's about continuing the human story. When you think about it, every great journey began with a single step. For Columbus, it was the ocean. For Armstrong, it was the moon. For us, it's the stars. And someday, when the first human walks on Mars and looks back toward the faint blue glow of Earth, they'll know. It started here, with fire, with courage, and with one rocket called Starship. The next generation of explorers will grow up not asking, can we go to space, but where do we go next? And maybe that's the greatest legacy of all. Not just changing technology, but changing what we believe is possible. So, as you're watching that silver giant pierce the heavens, remember this. This isn't just a moment in spaceflight history, it's the first chapter of our next great adventure. Because when SpaceX launched Starship, humanity didn't just reach for the stars, we finally started belonging to them.